light language. I don't know. Are you familiar with light language?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So it is channeling spirit, or is he there?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'll come back. My screen flipped over, so.
Oh, okay. Gosh, all of a sudden these leaf blowers, they wait till I get on Zoom and they're outside the window. Okay, so if you can hear me, yes, so I do light language. And so it's channeling spirit. And light language is not something you can really translate into human language, but it's the tones, the vowels, the syllables, whatever, like the frequency of the words are very healing. So they can do attunements or activations in us. You have to experience to know it. I do hear sometimes what to say in English. So I'll say in between the light language, what's going on, whatever, but it's not meant to be frightening or anything. It's just, it's a language of love. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. So Denise, this is Rimini, who is in the UK, and she ran a recoding process last week, actually.
Oh, excellent.
Hi, how you doing?
Rimini. Hi.
Nice to meet you. It's nighttime
Nice
here.
to meet you too. I caught a bit of it and I thought it was great.
Oh, cool.
So how many are we expecting today?
It's always up in the air.
Always up in the air? Okay, cool.
I have so many people that email me at the last minute and say, oh, I can't make it today. Or they say, yes, I'm going to be there, but then they don't show up. So it's just like,
yep.
We just take it as it comes.
We got Michael Seegers is here now as well. So I invited Michael to come in because he had submitted the message around frequencies. And so I wanted to make the connection. Michael, welcome to the call. Fantastic to have you here.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, Denise. Hi, Jared.
And Rimini has just stepped away. She's over in the UK, but she ran the recoding process last time, actually.
What is a recording process?
Rimini?
Recoding process is, it's like a guide, almost kind of like a guiding meditation, but this one was a group collective that coming together to create a new reality. We focused our attention in the future of where we want to direct our energy. And then we stepped into the now and got really clear on any energy that might be blocking or locking this reality into place. And then I connected to the group consciousness, the super conscious level, to release, like you give a set of commands to have any resistance or any blocks or any ties or emotional stuff or any inherited things or past generational energies and things, just to command it to kind of melt away so that we can move. The universe seeks resolution, so we have enough tension created in the end result will spring forward once the resistance is out of the way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Great.
Awesome. I just got a message from Tony that said that he couldn't find the link.
Okay, I'll send him a link.
Oh, you'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, do that.
Perfect. Thank you. And if anybody else, you've sent it out the link to everybody?
Yeah, I somehow must have missed Eric. That's all right. I can find him.
Because normally I send out an email beforehand, and I didn't have a chance to do that this time. But I'm really glad that we 5 are in the view right now, in fact, before everyone else, especially that it's 333, because these are actually 2 of the ladies that I had wanted to introduce you to, Michael, and then you to each other, and Jared as well, because I feel like we are very powerful players on the field. And each of us bring our own gifts. And Denise is actually an amazing practitioner, shaman, and she uses light language to bring forward amazing frequencies that I wanted to give her an opportunity to introduce herself. And I wanted to wait until more people are in the frame, but it might be an opportunity for them to be able to get that full introduction when more people are on, and we have had a chance for Michael as well to be able to answer any questions that might have come from the video that we did do, or to speak about higher frequencies of music generally. And so before everyone, I guess, gets in, would it make most sense to get you to give an introduction to who you are and the frequency of light language, Denise, that you
Oh,
be potentially bringing into the project that we're working on? Or would it make more sense to give an explanation of the actual project that we're creating as more people get in, which Tony just, or Eric just joined in, so I'm suspecting that that might be a better idea. I don't know if anyone new is meant to be joining us today, Jared. Lots of
Always,
new people.
always,
Of course.
yeah, always new invitations, always inviting, always expanding.
Absolutely. And so welcome, Eric. It's great to have you on. And to, as you can see, you've got a few new faces in here, one of whom you would be familiar with. And Eric actually was inspired with the video that you and I created, Michael, about frequencies, to be able to create a song that he has created the instrumental for, that I can pull up and have just playing in behind. If you wanted to say anything, Eric, to Michael based on what you saw, where you might have had questions, how it helped you and served you, this would be a great opportunity to do that. If you could. I had just flipped over. So that is evidently not what is meant to happen right now. I'm just trying to figure it out where everybody is, and also about going live, which evidently that's not what's meant to happen. So what is?
Try again, Eric.
Here we go. Hey, Laura. Sorry about that. How's everyone? Nice to meet you, Michael and Denise, and hi, Rimini.
yeah.
Hey, Jared.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Amazing. Were you able to hear what we were saying about the impact that the work that Michael had put up helped you in creating that music? And did you have any questions or anything that you wanted to say, or were you making faces and then I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to go online?
Oh, yeah, no, I heard a little bit. However, thank you for the recap. Yeah, I would just say to what Laura just said, Michael, yeah, I watched, the video interviews that you and Laura did, and, it was very fascinating information, about frequencies and, how it, impacts us, from a health standpoint. And so, yeah, it inspired me to create a composition for this project that Laura and I and Jared are working on with all these other artists. And so, yeah, just your video and information really helped to kind of drive an inspiration.
Wonderful.
Beauty. And so we'll just play it in the background. So I've just pulled it up. And so this is Eric, and your stage name is Tony.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Eric Tony's Mystic Vibes 432 print. So we'll just play that for 4 minutes as we welcome more people in. Luna's on her way in. Jules, how are you doing? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm fine. Hello, everybody. Nice to be here.
Welcome, it's great to have you. Luna, hello, amazing to have you here too. Okay, so this is feeling better. All right, so we were just I was going to have Denise introduce herself actually, who is—
Laura, do you want to turn that down a bit first?
Yes. I've never.
Yeah, just so it's in the background instead of overpowering you.
I always thought I talked so loud. I don't know how to turn. I don't know
It's
how.
very loud and very clear. It's just a lot to take in all at once.
Yes. I don't know how to turn it down in your SoundCloud.
Oh,
I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. Other than I can just decrease the music and then that should be fine. Can you guys still hear it?
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay.
A little, yeah, it's pretty.
Isn't it?
It is very pretty. I like it. I love it.
Amazing. And so what we're going to be doing is each of us having our own creative entry. And so today we were going to show some of what has been submitted and just a minute snippet. And then we've got the submissions on the Facebook group as well. And so what I was about to say was Denise is actually someone I interviewed for the Peaceful Inner Warriors United podcast that actually uses light language. And it's beautiful. And it's unique and I loved it, and she came into my mind as someone to reach out to about this project. And as any of you who have met me and have come to know me a little through our experiences together, I always just follow the signs, and where I'm guided I just go. And so I reached out to Denise and she checked in, and then she's here. So I wanted to give her an opportunity to introduce her to everyone and to be able to say we don't know where this is going to go specifically, but there's no expectations and we're all just here figuring it out together, and collaborations are certainly possible. So Denise?
Okay, well, this is the last place I expected to find myself, to be honest, because I'm not musically gifted, and I'm like, wow, I'm with some talented musicians. Shall I come? And my guides were, yes, this is an opportunity. And when Laura mentioned it to me, I had a flash quickly that I may be working with someone putting light language to music, which I've never heard of anyone doing before. Maybe they have, I don't know. So to describe myself, I don't describe myself as a shaman, but I do shamanic healing. I'm a channel for the white light. So what I do is I access very high realms of white light healing. So I'm a healer. I work on healing different situations or helping people or whatever. I channel the Council of Light, archangels, that sort of thing, ascended masters. But I also, about 3 years ago, started channeling light language, which some people go, oh, it's tongues. Oh, I don't like that expression. It sounds gross. It's more of tones and frequencies. So we can't translate it into English or any human language. It's the frequency and the tone that's healing. And it just comes through. So it's just accepting. It does activations on us and attunements. It opens up our body. It does healing. It does a number of different things. And sometimes it sounds different from the time before. So that's what I got a flash about is, oh, maybe it's meant to be put to language or to music. And that would be a double effect, the healing tones and frequencies of light language to someone's healing music. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But I don't know. So here I am, and I just follow the way I'm guided. So, because normally I would say, ooh, like I'm not talented in music. Why would I be with these group of great, talented, spiritual musicians? But here I am. So I'm just going to follow the way I'm shown, and we'll see what happens. So I guess that's my introduction.
I absolutely love that. And your story is so the story of all of us, to the extent that we question whether we're good enough to show up in a room with people like this, each of whom exude this energy of presence and radiance that captivates and intimidates. And for anybody that's standing in their power, that is willing to put forward their voice and their magic and what calls on their heart, that is quite intimidating, and we're doing it anyway. So I want to say a huge pat on the back to each of us for being willing to get over the fear and to understand that energy and the fear shows up as excitement or fear in the same way within the body. So if we really get clear that fear doesn't go away, it's just we change how we direct and channel that. It's kind of like taking a whole bunch of sounds and then making it beautiful, because we get out of the way of having to be the driver of it and then become the conduit to be able to offer something beautiful into this world. And as you were sharing that, Denise, I wanted to also introduce or give Michael Seegers an opportunity to just actually speak into the power of decrees too, because what I can personally see are potentially some of the violet flame decrees actually being used, whether in combination with the light language, if that's something that anybody feels called towards, and having decrees in there as well for the energy of bringing in the violet flame, or in some way to use the tools that the Ascended Masters gave as well, which, Michael, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if certainly you wanted to give an introduction and your affinity to music, and then also
lack thereof.
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
But in truth, if you're welcome to take the floor and say hello or make any input. And I just wanted to make everybody aware that if anybody had any questions, Michael is here to answer those. And he, like Denise, is coming in just to say, hey, this is a really cool experience that is coming together by people that are amazing. So I just wanted to put it out there as well.
Well, as I made clear in that video that we produced, I am not musical, not in the slightest bit. And with that impediment, I still have managed in the work that I do to put music very much on stage. We use music at the temple every week. I found it to be profoundly moving and impactful when wisely selected. And the experience has been that people would come and say, I'm not singing. And they were absolutely adamant that they were not going to sing, refused to sing, hated singing, didn't want to ever think about singing. And within a few weeks, they were singing their heart out, because the music that we were selecting was just that touching and just that special. And indeed, the music that is presented by the Ascended Masters is scientifically formulated to produce that effect. And so that it does open the chakras, and it does touch the heart, and it does speak to the soul, and it brings out the inner child. And it's a very important part of the service that we provide, along with the prayers and the meditations and the dynamic decrees and the invocations. So I have an understanding of some of the science of that. I'm very well grounded in physics and chemistry and that type of a thing. And so I bring that to this conversation. I don't have anything beyond that to offer, really, because, as I said, I'm not musical. I don't play an instrument. I'm not able to even keep time with music. Rhythmically, I don't have that sense in my body. I don't resonate or feel it the way most people feel it. But I can follow a tune if I practice and imitate. And it's by imitation, I think, that we learn new things. And so I've learned how to sing my heart out with the right kind of music and really share that with people. And if there's something that I have that's useful or helpful to share with everybody here, then that's my pleasure.
Beautiful, thank you.
And I just wanted to say, it wasn't, I wasn't afraid. It's more being open-minded. Like if you're brought an opportunity, not to dismiss it and say, oh, well, I'm not musically inclined. So it was more for me to be open-minded, because I'm the first to admit you do not want me to sing. I'm kind of tone deaf. It's just not, it's like, that you will not win the 100-yard dash at the Olympics, and that's not your wheelhouse. So same kind of thing. I would never put myself, I don't think I would ever happen, but I would never put myself at the starting line of a race, because that's just not my talent. But I might be open to going, because I might meet someone that, we come together, whatever, in some sort of a partnership or working. Yes.
What I really enjoy about what we've been able to do with these summits so far, and where we've been able to go, is that we've been able to share experiences, and it's not necessarily that we 100% align with everything that's said or everything that goes on with these experiences, but that we can become more unified as a team as we share in these different experiences, but also as we reach out to those musicians that we know that would have something to contribute here, that would have something to help uplift the world. And that's kind of the whole process of what we're trying to do, is reach out into the world and lift and build people. I was talking with Laura a bit earlier today about what I'm finding with this project. And what I'm finding with this project is that when people share music with me that's supposed to be in this compilation, it feels to me as if I've known that song my whole life. It feels to me that I'm coming into it, and I'm recognizing that familiarity, and that is just a double confirmation to me that this is what's part of this project. And it's not something that we began even with a project in mind. We just began with the idea of coming together to do something, to actually make a physical difference in the world. And this is what's resulted, is that we have this project this year at this time, where we're all coming together to reach out into the world and make the world a better place. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for participating. And Laura, I thank you for hosting and bringing everybody together for us to share in the experiences and communication that we can have in this summit.
Thank you, Jared. Beautiful. And so when Jared and I started this, and everybody who is on here knows, Jared's really with Mad Hatter's music, and he's really looking after the CD component, and I have been more so just helping with what I'm most familiar with, which is the summit aspect. So like Denise and like Michael, it's like I showed up not because I see myself as a musician, but because I am an empowerment coach with a message that sometimes I use song to deliver it with. And it's just like, we are so rich when we actually build and become the web of interconnection. And Eleni, it's the first time that I've got to meet you on here. So welcome. We saw you come in, and
nice to meet you. And thanks for having me on board.
It's an absolute pleasure. And so I think that I have seen the song submissions of most everyone in here, and so we did want to give an opportunity to feature some of the songs. So you who are in view, I'm going to go and find one of the songs that was submitted, and we can do a short clip of that, just so that we can start really feeling and vibing into each other's music. And what I thought would be a cool thing for us to do would be even a movement experience while that happens, or to somehow figure out how we can really make this an experience where we get to really feel into each other's music and the essence of each of us who are contributing to this collaborative experience. And with that being said, I see many fabulous people full of insights to be able to share that are welcome to do so, please, if you have anything you wanted to contribute that's come up since last time when we gathered, when Rimini led us through the guided process that was incredible with the recoding that you explained before more people were on today, to Denise and Michael. Does anyone have anything you wanted to contribute today or share? What it's meant to be part of the project? Why you're choosing to put your hand up and contribute, for somebody that may be watching the replay that is wondering what they may have to offer in terms of the value. The deadline for the compilation is on April 2nd, so we are less than a month away already. And so Eric, I understand we need to connect very soon. So tomorrow we'll do that, and we can definitely work through getting lyrics added to your music. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do such a cool thing. And it's just like, with that, I literally am going to do a lullaby type experience, I think, because how sweet to be able to soothe the nervous system with a lullaby. And I don't quite know how it fits, to be honest, but I haven't made it live to Facebook, so it is just going to be the recording, so we can worry about the judgments later. We don't have to worry about any toxic energies coming in at us right now from anybody that can't actually see. So it is a safe container for us to be ourselves.
Do you mind, I would appreciate it anyways, or maybe somebody watching this for the first time, what exactly, like, you don't have to go on for a long time, but what is this project? How is it coming together, and why is it due in April, and what are people going to contribute?
So what happened is me and Laura decided we needed to do something, and she said, okay, well, let's hold a summit. And that was in December. And we said, okay, so we held the summit in December. And there was this great energy and this drive to make a difference in the world. And I realized that, you know, part of the reason I started Mad Hatter Music is because I felt like there was so many other artists and musicians in the world who wanted to use their music to make an impact, to help people to heal the hurts in their lives and to move forward with a positive direction. And so with that started with just the idea of a gathering place. It's like, okay, well, we can do more than just gather. We can do more than just have a place where people that share, and with the people that we tell about come to look at it. We could have a place where we can share together and promote each other and lift each other up. And so that's when the call kind of got put on my mind and my heart to reach out and say, okay, well, I have some resources that I'm coming into. I'm pretty excited about being able to use these resources. And me and Laura were talking earlier today again about what this is for me. And it's very much a karma project. Very much, this is an energy that I felt pushed and directed in. I'm going to cry. I've heard, like I said earlier in the summit, when I hear songs that are supposed to be on this compilation, they are familiar to me. They're songs that I've heard in my heart. And so when I hear that and I feel that energy, I want to bring that together. And I want to bring these artists together to be able to lift each other up and to share with the people that they know, and to be able to say, here's something physical, whether it be a thumb drive or a CD or a web address where they can get a free download, something that gives them access to all this music that has had such an impact on me when I hear it and when I feel it. And so we've created this concept around this theme of the hero's journey, or the sacred soul journey of the soul. Like Laura said, it's the same address, just different perspective. And so as we grow and as we understand, as I grow and as I understand new things in life, I gain a new perspective as to what my purpose and intent is here. And so this is very much about me expressing my purpose and intent, which is to lift the artists and the musicians and the healers who've come together to help people in their life. So it's my expression to reach out, and it isn't about me. I don't really care what credit I get. I know that's not it at all. It's about me fulfilling my mission and purpose in life to lift and build others and to help others who have that same call put on their heart to be able to reach out further than what they could do on their own and lift and heal others. So that is what, in essence, this project is. It's a project of passion for me, because I know that there are so many that hurt in this world and who have blinded themselves because of the pain that they didn't want to experience, or because of the confusion that this world has to offer. There's so much garbage floating around and distractions from what's really meaningful. And I think getting in touch with your purpose and whose you are, as Laura likes to say, is an essential key to having meaning and purpose in life, to having a legacy that you can leave and be proud of. Because we don't all get to stay here. As a matter of fact, nobody gets to stay here. We come here and we're here for a small blip, and we have a flame that goes and it burns out. We're all going to die. That's a fact of life. But while we're here, we can burn bright. And that is my hope, that by bringing us together, by bringing our energies, by bringing our sticks together, by bringing our elements together, we will burn brighter than we can burn on our own. And that is what this compilation is. That is what this project is a chance for us to burn bright.
Thank you. And so sorry if I'm interviewing here, but I just, natural curiosity. So why is there a deadline in April? Like, what's going to happen in April?
If you
In
don't
April,
have a call to action, people don't
Right.
come together. So we needed to put it together, and it was in December, and then we came up with the idea in January, and April seemed like a reasonable amount of time for committed people to learn some good stuff about music, which Michael was gracious enough to put together some insights for, and we keep having more added in, which is the process. And it's just, we get to grow, and 3 months seemed like a good amount of time to be able to pull it all together, is kind of was my thought. What was yours gonna be?
My thought? Well, I just wanted to maybe just an ongoing thing, like people are just adding in once it launches, maybe, but that's up to all of you, of course.
yeah, it doesn't end.
Yeah.
This doesn't end, Denise.
Yeah.
This is my job, my life. This is my life calling and purpose. And so this is what I'm here to do. And this is the start. This is the start of rolling this
I just wanted to add too is I have a different perspective about our bright spark and our spark of divinity, is that only the special ones came to earth right now. Only the special souls, like we are eternal, like we are forever. So we don't really die. But there was a lineup of souls that had a sacred mission that wanted onto the earth at this time, because it's a real exciting time to be here. Nobody wanted to be here 200 years ago because it was such a tough gig, and you don't want to be burned at the stake or whatever. But this is like the special ones. So all of you are the special ones that have this sacred mission that came in to do your music now. And so yeah, I'm honored to be amongst all of you. I don't know if you feel it, like you felt like and I said that, but like you're so special, and you do have a sacred mission, and coming together when there's, 2 or more, like the energy is so amplified. So yeah, this is a very sacred project. It's very magical. So I shouldn't say don't. Every time I say don't, I go, don't say don't. It may be an idea to look at it is, this isn't my only kick at the can, but I am a very enlightened being that chose to be on the earth at this time to lend my gifts and abilities to help the others rise above, to bring up the mass consciousness. So that's my take on it. So yeah, you're all beautiful souls, right?
Awesome. Perfect, Denise. I love that.
Absolutely. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jared. Did you have more to say?
No, you were good.
Okay. I'm curious if anyone had any insights from last week with the process and what we're creating together and putting more energy into that, because the mastermind concept is so very important to what we're doing right now. And literally, when we were doing the recoding process, the vision that I was kind of feeling was the Woodstock vibe of creating a modern day Woodstock that actually brings the people together, but not because of drugs and rock and roll and sex, but because of who we are as sacred beings who have learned how to come home to ourselves, who have actually been able to learn who we are in order to be able to imbue that into what we do and how we do it. And so I am really feeling that the festival is very much linked to a longer term option as well. But in the meantime, we've got the first project, which becomes Album22, as Rivani so wonderfully framed it last week. That was so perfect because, as you can see in behind me, that I had done a teaching on with the high rise of emotional awareness. And as Jared said, it's the same address, whether we're depressed or whether we're in peace, enlightenment, empowerment, feeling powerful. But it's a completely different experience, whether we're on the bottom or whether we're on the top. And what we have to really be mindful of, and the reason that I wanted to introduce it last week and then loved how you'd asked whether there was any reason behind the number 22, which others may have more to say about that number specifically, but it came from the teaching from Esther Hicks, who channels the consciousness. Oh, wow. So Michael, you might have something to say about my hope, love, and joy.
I'm going to refrain. You know what I might say.
I know, darn it, guys. My link. Oh. All right. So Michael and I have been working on spiritual warfare type related stuff for months. Our first video I was watching on spiritual warfare and the nature of evil. And that was literally on, this is so ridiculous.
There are no accidents.
A little gutted about this, but this is evidently why I invited Michael on. So Michael, if you wouldn't mind, we have not talked about, and we have to, like, it's false hierarchy essentially is what is. I'm being pensive because I don't want to offend anyone and I don't want to step on anything. And I don't want to set Michael up to do that either. And I don't want this to become something other than what we all came here for it to be about, which we thought was what it was supposed to be about. But actually what happens is always what needs to be. So having said all of that, Michael, where it comes to this project, there spiritual interference, I've just had my love, hope, and joy lamp literally crash and crumble. And it was when I had mentioned about what you say comes from the astral plane below the etheric plane, which is where all of these energies that come in with the music draw in the entities, which are the thought forms that have accrued energy around them to become more weighty in their influence energetically.
Yeah, so interesting that would happen at the precise moment that it did. I don't want to speak into it too powerfully. I've just completed a 9-day novena of Archangel Michael rosaries, which turned out to be more powerful than I expected. And the opposition to that was tremendous. They wanted to knock me out. They wanted to put me to sleep. they tried everything. And when I was on the third day, had a meeting with a gentleman who was a yoga teacher from India, very highly evolved, working as a psychotherapist. And I gave him what I comically termed the electric handshake. And the transfer of light from my body to his body was so powerful that his kundalini ignited out of control and quite powerfully scared him, because he had already tremendous familiarity with it for at least 40 years and thought that he was in a position where it wasn't a problem. But when he encountered my energy in physical contact, it absolutely ignited him. And so yesterday I finished my 9-day novena with the Archangel Michael Rosary. And so what I'm radiating, which is coming into the presence of everybody on this broadcast, is more powerful than what you're naturally accustomed to, Laura. And so you just had an experience that was an indication of that type of a phenomenon, of how powerful the energy is that's flowing right now. And you know exactly when it happened and what you said, but I don't want to go into that conversation right now because I think it's too highly charged of an environment. I think this environment needs to be absolutely harmonious. I think that there is a tremendous amount of information that people would benefit from regarding the energy frequencies that are distinctly recognized by the masters as astral and completely different from that which is etheric, which is still not even in the spiritual realm. It's still in what we call the physical plane environment. And it's the higher levels in the spiritual planes, which most people are not able to attune to because of the density of mortal consciousness, that the true light and inspiration flows from. And so we want people to come to understand that they can access that within themselves, because we're all connected to source. And what we need to do is remove the impediments to that. And that comes with largely an educational process of discerning vibrations. And that's why we presented the teaching that we did about the science of rhythm. And there will be other factors that come into that. Numerology, you will see, plays a part in that. Sacred geometry is all based on numbers. The universe geometrizes into form. And so 22 is interesting. You'll find significance with that number in relation to Kabbalah, in relation to the tarot. And you can make your inferences from that. If you want to touch briefly upon the Esther Hicks phenomenon, I've mentioned in the past that the instruction from the masters is that that information is completely unreliable because it's coming from false hierarchy imposters and channeled through the astral plane. And so, not a big surprise that you just had that aha moment.
Rimini, did you have your hand up? No? Okay. And Denise, did you or anybody else want to say anything to any of that? Because I appreciate it's an alternative and unexpected off-ramp that is still equally on track, because my perception is essentially that we have to understand with this kind of opportunity, there will be the resistance that comes in. And then there's also the conversation that I've been having a lot recently as well around ego. And that's something that you, I believe, is that part of what you do a lot of your work with, Rimini? I know somebody had said that you do a lot of work with artists around ego, but I feel like it's about very much getting ourselves centered in our truth rather than the ego. And obviously the people that are in this, we're already largely there, and we all have moments of getting out. And then what I was going to say about the high rise is about each of those emotional states. If we can just learn to go from one to the next, it's easier than trying to go from 0 to hero. And then chaos struck, and then it didn't get focused on at all, which is what happens in life. And it's just like with a project like this, and even Denise in saying about, this doesn't have to be the end, it's just the first one. And it's like, this is an amazing process. And it's just like, we have to be aware that, distractions do come up and take our attention away. And then we have to understand whether that is because it's our karma, or whether it's karma that we're coming into, or we just really have to look at things from a higher level than maybe what we have before, because we didn't have access to the teachings that gave us more certainty, or the ability to have the conversations when things go off the rails, to kind of bring ourselves back. So we're creating a space for us as much as anything here. And I just want to personally say thank you to each of you for showing up each week to become familiar faces that I look to the beauty of in the gallery, and then online as well, with all of the songs that I said we would be playing and showing some of. Anybody want to contribute anything before that happens?
I think it'd be good to go to the music. I think the music can speak for itself.
Okay. I'm just going to use the one that you had sent to me, Jared. Oh, I should have been looking while you guys were doing there. Okay, perfect. So we're going to play up Luna's first, since that was the first on the list. And I'm going to flip you over. Woo, this is so exciting, guys. Okay. So we'll play a minute of each of them.
My body's a cocoon, my soul will turn into a butterfly, and you will see me die to be reborn. Is love left too soon? I took it and I held it tight. Hope it gets me through the night and through the storm. And rain will fall, and the horizon will shatter and break as the sun is rising. And day will come.
Amazing. We'll keep it on, and we can keep it on the background. Does anybody, I don't know, but is it inappropriate to talk over it, or what do you guys want to do? I've never done this before. I'm happy to. What do you guys think? We'll keep it on in the background and stop sharing. What do you think?
It's a beautiful song.
Yes, it
Absolutely
is.
beautiful
You can
song.
just leave the whole thing then?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Okay, very good.
You know ink will flow from my open veins, and they will say it rains poetry in the end. And you will know how to keep a memory, for the rivers speak of me as an old friend. And rain will fall, and the horizon will shatter and break as the sun is rising. And they will call, for our last goodbye. And the sea will take back the tears I cried. I'll take you with me in the whispering wind. I'll hear your voice when all is silent. I'll give the earth back my roots, and you will see me flying, and you will see me flying.
Amazing. Amazing! Bravo! That was absolutely beautiful. Well done, Luna. Would you like to say any words about that song or why that was the vision
Yeah.
that you gave?
Can you hear me? Because I don't think I've spoken today yet. Okay, awesome. When Jared brought me into this, when you talked about the hero's journey, this song was actually the last release I brought into the world, and I just felt like it fit really well because a part of it is awakening and letting go of things. And this is a song I wrote over a year ago. I didn't really know what it was about. It really just came through me. I channeled it and I felt like it was telling me something, but I wasn't 100% sure what. And now I'm about to move away from home to another country, to Germany, to make a living from my music and to jump into a big adventure. And slowly, the song that I've ironically called Prophecy is coming true, and I'm realizing there are challenges, there is self-doubt, there is a lot of that, but there is also so much hope, so much adventure, there's light, and in this goodbye, there's a new beginning. And that is sort of what the song is about. It's about saying, I accept that there's not always just going to be positive and amazing things, and that following your path is not always the easiest thing in the world, but I am confident that in the end I will fly, in the end I will find my way, and I am happy to walk that path. So I feel like it just was a really good fit for the concept. And coincidentally, it was just what I had released. And yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I hear back. I share that song a lot, and I hear back. It's just very moving, very touching, but it's also just very. You have such an amazing talent, Luna. Thank you for being part of it.
I really appreciate it. I'm really happy that you brought me here, and I really appreciate your support too, because it does mean a lot.
And I think this is the best possible time to start your career, because things are happening so fast along the timeline. We're coming into a beautiful new world, and the structure of the music industry is changing. So all the corrupt forces that, just elevated certain singers to the top and everybody else is kind of pushed to the side, that's all coming down. A lot of it's already been dismantled. So this is a real opportunity to be in different communities, and singers are going to mean a lot to each community. It's going to be smaller community-based music, and everybody has an equal opportunity, right? Because we're coming into the times of the light. So I think it's a great time, really great. And good luck to you. I think that was awesome.
Thank you. And I feel like you're definitely right. I am building a community. I'm not aiming at, Billboard charts or anything. I don't really care about that sort of thing. I'm just aiming about like reaching the right people with my music, sharing my energy and my story with them, and making a living from it so I can keep doing it. That's all I really want. And I've really found a lovely community already, a Patreon that I have where lovely people support me. And I really see that what you say is true, that the music industry is creating sort of a middle class where musicians really connect with a smaller audience that supports them, and you don't have to be at the top to share your voice, which is really, really beautiful. And I think it is a wonderful time to be alive.
Yes, yes. And so the music, you know, it's being guided. It's going to be heartfelt, and it's going to touch everyone, and it's going to be allowed to be what it is instead of being altered for money and for a, I don't want to say dark agenda, but that really was what it was. And now it's going to be like loving and heartfelt and beautiful. The music that's allowed to come out, and it's going to touch people. Even the frequency is going to be adjusted, right, from what it's been forced to be. So yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Susie, did you have something
Yeah,
you
we're
wanted to say as well?
Yeah, if I can just jump in for a second. I think this is wonderful to listen to each other's songs, not just on our own, but to do it like this. It was amazing. And Luna, wow, wow. You know, it was so simplistic, the song, but so touching. And the video, I love it. You know, that you chose to put yourself as the viewer and just seeing yourself, like the whole imagery of it. It's such a simple concept, but very, very heavy. You know, it's in a positive way. Like it really touches you, you know? So, and you have a beautiful voice. So it was just gorgeous to watch. And it's funny hearing you speak, because a couple of days ago, I put out a new song, and it was one of the hardest ones for me to put out because it was about a colleague of mine whose son passed away. And, you know, I always kind of put it to the side, and I didn't want to put it out because I didn't want to talk about that subject of death. And you know, I try to be positive, and how do you talk about that in a positive way? Anyways, to make a long story short, I've been doing a lot of interviews and radio stuff and whatever. And you know, this conversation, when we talk about the industry, I kind of echo what you just said about not caring at all, you know, about the industry, but in some ways you don't. You know, I didn't do any Facebook ads or any of the normal things that people start pushing their music out there. I said exactly what you just said, which just blew my mind, which is that I just want whoever should hear the song, I want it to get to them, however way it will. And I trust that it will. I don't really have to, I'll do what I do. But it was the first time that I put out a song and all these people contacted me, as opposed to me having to reach out to a whole bunch of people. It was people who reached out to me to do interviews. And I thought that was really weird, but it all makes sense because whoever should contact me contacted me, and the conversations that I'm supposed to have, I'm having, and the audience that should be hearing what I'm saying is going to be there to hear it. So, you know, it's amazing that Luna, I mean, I think I'm much older than you are. And for someone who is still relatively young to understand that all that other BS that is involved with the whole music industry, it means nothing. And that's not what brings you true happiness and joy from creating music. You know, what you're doing and the philosophies you have behind it, that's the most important thing. And one more last thing, sorry, because I get a little preachy, but you know, the thing with you going through all these changes now and moving, I'll tell you, as someone who's been through lots of changes, several, you know, I moved countries too. I moved to the Middle East and learned a whole new language, got used to a whole new lifestyle. Those adventures are going to be the most incredible things you'll ever go through. And it's the people who stay stagnant and rooted in the same place that will never know all the incredible things out there. So have nothing but positive visions of what's coming, because trust me, you know, if you want to believe that's going to be difficult, then it will be. But don't even have those conversations in your head, because it's if you say, you know what, this is perfect and I'm exactly where I need to be and I'm going exactly where I need to go, that's exactly what's going to happen. Trust me. You know, so anyways.
Can I just add to what you just said, Susie? Luna, like totally just what Susie just said is like spot on. Like the most incredible experiences in my life have come from just daring to really lean into my heart and follow where it's pulling me, and having the courage to know that's my fail-safe. Like my heart is my fail-safe. Like it's got my back. And to really listen to like the silliest little pings of, I should go over here now and do this, because it's by listening to those little tiny, like, even I was guided to go buy a pair of shorts. And then in the short shop, I met all these music people and I wrote loads of songs with them. And it's, so it's just even daring to listen to the most abstract pings of inspiration when they don't really make sense. Because on that journey, like, if you're willing to just listen, like, follow the breadcrumbs, you're going to be led on the most amazing experience. So good luck. It's going to be so much fun.
No, thank you both. I really agree. For me, it's a big adventure. I'm really fortunate because both my parents have really given me a lot of wisdom. They both did a lot of things. They moved to Tenerife with a 6-month-old child to a house that they were still building, opening their own business. And they did those sort of things because their heart told them to, because they knew this is what we're supposed to do. And now they have a wonderful, beautiful house in the dream spot that was just a room when they came here. And they created that world that they saw. And just growing up with that example gave me sort of a confidence that, like, I found sort of, I think at a younger age, that because they told me you need to follow those things, I started listening. And I started realizing when I listen, then the magic happens. A clear example is last year, I had a tour through Germany and Switzerland planned. It was small venues and house concerts. And then lockdown happened. And everything was canceled except 4 house concerts. And I said, after the first lockdown, that was like between the 2 of them, I said, okay, I feel like I should be there. I should go for those 4 house concerts. I did. And at every house concert, I met someone who booked me for another one. I ended up being there for 3 months, traveling, earning money, and playing over 11 concerts because it was just where I was supposed to be. And those sort of things keep happening when I follow my heart. And I really just can second you 100%. That's just how it works. When you have a calling, Jared, also, you really moved me. I almost cried with you before when you were talking about this is what you're supposed to do. When you know what you're supposed to do and you follow your heart, I still find myself doubtful sometimes. And I think that's natural. It's normal. We're human. But when I jump over that doubt and I just say, I trust this, I'm going to do this, then nothing bad has ever come from it. So I'm just going to jump into the adventure and keep meeting wonderful people like all of you and stumbling across wonderful projects and getting inspired and learning. There is a lot I don't know, but I do know that I'm supposed to do music and I'm just going to go all in.
Beautiful.
Love it. Amazing. All right. We will move on to the next. We've got Blue Lament. Echo wants her voice back. And so Jared sent that one over. And so we are going to play. And Jared, is she on the call?
Eleni, yeah, she's listening.
Oh, perfect. Okay. If you care to say anything, Eleni, we would love to hear you at the end as well. We'll start the song.
Sweet man he was, my breath to pause. He held me tight, said we were right, but then he took off in the night. Black as a hole, he drank me dry. I had a man, I loved him so, gave him a gun, my heart to blow. I had a man, I loved him so, that I am. He'll never know what kind of man, what kind of guy forgets to write, to tell you why. There's only one, the kind that hides, the one whose fear stops out the light. He let me fall, he let me crawl. He didn't scrape pain off the floor. All of that love, it made him wrong, and now it's done. There is no one. I had a man, I loved him so, gave him a gun, my heart to blow. I had a man, I loved him so, all that I am in there. Time takes away this heavy day. I think of all these things and pray to bring him here. I can't see him clear. Bright eyes a star. He fades to gray. I had a man, I loved him so. Will he come home before I'm gone? I had a man, I love him still. There's no one here.
Woohoo! That was nice. All right, let me just.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hi.
Eleni, brilliant. Nice to see you and meet you.
I actually have a music video with that, but I don't know why it didn't show.
Oh, that would have been far better. Because on these in future, I feel like if you do have a music video, that will definitely be what
Yeah,
we'll
I didn't
use.
know that was on there, to be honest.
Okay.
It
Well,
must be from the
did any
video.
we did if you send that over to Jared, then we'll be able to watch the video, and that would be really cool because it's really nice.
I think it's linked in the Facebook group.
Is it? Darn it.
Yeah.
I have that one.
Sorry.
No problem. Did anybody want to give a woo or anything to Eleni?
What a haunting voice, Jesus. I mean, both of you guys, but you know, I think as a vocalist, that's the thing that you can pierce right into someone, you know, with your voice. Music obviously does that as well, but there's something different when it comes from a human being. So that's incredible. You know, it was beautiful.
Thanks. Thank you.
I agree. When you sung the first note, I had like goosebumps. It just has a really strong emotional feeling. It's beautiful, really, really beautiful.
Thanks. I wasn't sure if I should do it a cappella, but then I thought, just take a risk. It doesn't matter. But it felt like, you know, it was fine on its own.
It's very beautiful, and it honestly it conveys so much confidence that I think so many need, that they're lacking in the world, that you would do a cappella, because that's just not something people are comfortable doing. And you're taking that on and doing it that way just shows that that's possible. And your voice, like they've said, is very, very beautiful. And I'm very excited to have you as part of this project too.
Thank you, Jared. Nice to meet you as well. And you're always supporting me on LinkedIn. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Absolutely.
It feels good to be part of something that's preventive for, you know, for suicide and also for healing, because my songs are always a bit, I mean, we make jokes about it in the UK. It's folk noir, it's dark, there's a lot of pain in it, a little bit of pain in the song, but for me it's when you have emotions in a song, it's very cathartic, and I feel people can connect to that and feel the same catharsis depending on the song, I guess.
Absolutely. That's actually a conversation we've had on a previous summit where we talked about, you know, healing not only coming from super positive songs, but especially also coming when we allow ourselves to feel with a song and have that cathartic experience.
Yeah, somebody made that really poignantly great point, that it's just very important not to just be focused on we're a small world after all. So that was great.
And when would you like me to call?
I just want to say I'm really happy to have discovered Luna's and Eleni's songs. The point is that first, I would say, Eleni, you got that soul. Like you got that soul. You could go like all the way, and people will be like, "We want more." Luna, you know that you're great. That your writings are just from another place. Like I heard your song. Of course, I was still meditating. You know, sometimes we take time to listen to words because they're still going around your mind, and that's Luna. She makes you think twice about the song and think again and again, so you can find what's happening. And you guys are amazing. Like, wow.
Absolutely. Spectacular. All right.
Yeah.
Yes?
Laura, no, I just wanted to say, I mean, I'm actually just honored and privileged to be a part of, you know, such talented people. So Luna, your song was the feeling was amazing. It got a feeling, you could feel it, you know. And then Eleni, your acapella, you know, I think Susie, you mentioned, right, it carries the song, you know. I don't think it needs anything. So very, very great to be just a part of this. So thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Beautiful. Okay, we will do Susie. We will do your Secret Garden song. Oh, I need to
Can
get
I give a little
Oh yes, please.
no, just a warning that there's kind of a little bit of boobies showing in this video. So
Okay, well,
that's all. Just a little, you know. My mother saw my dress and went, "Are you sure you want to wear that?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, I'm good."
Sit yourself right down. With love is overwhelming. Feeling safe and sound. Trust your basic instinct and free yourself of thought. No doubt cannot invade you or the peace you fiercely sought. You try to fight, so demons control your mindless views. In time, you fire. Surrender your soul and let love rule. Welcome to the secret garden. Allow me to guide you through the paths of deconstruction. Foundations laid on you. Find yourself in freedom. Body, soul, and mind. Conforming to the confines. Left it far behind. You try to fight. The demons control your mindless views. In time, you'll fire. Surrender your soul and let go. Just pour your soul out. I'm here for you now. Oh, please tell me. You tried to fight. The demons control your mindless views. In time, you'll fire. Surrender your soul and let
No, I have to be the first to comment on this one. Come on, guys. I have to be the first. Come on. Okay. Oh my God. Susie, can you take me to that secret garden?
That was actually a $25 million mansion in Malibu. I found it. I'm like, oh my God, that's the place we have to shoot this video. That day was just magical, you know? Yeah, it's really cool.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, so beautiful. Come on.
Thank you. And I saw the comment from Mermini about the dress. You know, again, it's so revealing. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not someone who shows my boobs and shows my butt and everything, you know? But I saw the dress and I went, you know what? Yeah, I want to wear it. It's beautiful and it's magical and it has class. It's not like, you know, look at me. But I did feel a little bit like Cher.
You really rocked that dress, and the song is beautiful, and I love the symbolism in the video too. I felt it was really strong. Just sort of when you stop and turn around, you call it a sound clock. Sorry, English is not my first language. I feel like it's really powerful. The images that you chose, and the song itself is gorgeous. Like, congratulations, it's beautiful.
Very much. Thank you. You know, I want to tell you guys something really strange and incredible about the video. When the director shot everything, he had put it together. I wasn't too happy with the way he put all the sequence of things. So I said to him, do you mind sending me all the footage? I will go through it. And I started editing it myself, although I've never edited a video in my life. But anyways, it's all a learning process. I ended up, through the whole thing of looking through it, I found this footage where I'm walking through darkness and you see this heart go across my chest. You'll see it when I say "Let Love Rule" on the first chorus. Like, I'm going through the chorus. You try to fight, surrender your soul and let love rule. As I'm saying that, I'm walking through darkness and you see nothing but this heart. That heart came naturally from whatever I was walking through the tunnel. So if you guys can at some point just to look at that, it blew my mind because I went, how crazy is that? And I found it through the footage and I said to him, put it right there when I say "Let Love Rule." But he didn't even see that. And I'm like, but it's so obvious. It's a whole picture. I'm black and you see this heart go right across my chest just from the lighting and the way the garden was. So it's, you know, that was pretty cool.
I love it when magic like that happens.
Yeah, but and then recognizing it, you know, again, he didn't see it. Not his fault. He wasn't looking for it, but neither was I. But when I went through the footage and I just happened to see that, I go, whoa, that's crazy. You know, because the whole song is about finding yourself and letting love be the thing that guides you in your life. And once you let love guide you, you know, that's where it's just two things. It's love or fear. Nothing else. You know, so if you let go of fear and you just hang on to love, then you have trust, you have faith, you have, you know, it's all good. Yeah.
Awesome. We are coming up to near the hour-and-a-half mark. So I wanted to give anybody an opportunity to say anything otherwise, or we'll play one last song and wrap up for today. Did anybody have anything you wanted to say before we do that? Denise, I know you can, pardon?
Because I'm feeling self-conscious about it, but my speakers on this laptop are absolutely horrendous, so I can't really hear the music. That's why I haven't commented. I'm looking forward to listening properly on my other computer, but it has no camera, so I can't do Zoom on it. So that's why I've been quiet, and I'm cheering you on energetically, even though I can't really hear your songs. So I just wanted to say that's why I've been silent.
There. Thank you. Beautiful. Denise, did you have anything that you wanted to share? Just as a guest, I know that I just before the end, because I know we'd kind of said you might have done a process, but it might feel like maybe we could have you on another time. You might be able to do that.
Absolutely. I think today is about everybody sharing their beautiful music and bonding together and coming together as a group. So absolutely, I can come back and do some light language another time.
Yeah.
Sure.
That would be amazing, because I feel like it would be really advantageous for everybody to at least get a taste of it and see if it's something that vibes for you. And I just didn't want to round out without giving you the opportunity to say you could come back. So just wanted to do that. And then we're gonna round out today with dun dun dun. I'm really not good at the drum roll at all, but we're gonna just switch it over. I just sent it to myself. Sorry. Wait, this didn't happen the way I was quite working. Can we go back and do the drum roll again? Okay, we're going over to Jules. So I just needed to pull it up. So Jules, we're gonna play your song. So we're gonna pop this up there because you got the video, and anybody else that has a video, it just makes it that much more fun to be able to see you in action as well. And I know if it's a new song, then you might not have the chance to do that yet, but here we've got another live one.
Maybe. Oh, there we go.
You'll be disappointed in your life, and it feels like there is no more light. Everyone else keeps telling you lies, and your loved ones seem not to realize that you're in pain and got tears in your eyes, tears in your eyes, tears in your eyes. No matter what you're going through, yeah, you better keep on going, oh yeah. Cause at the end your result, gonna pay out your result, and your hard work will show you are stronger than you thought. You thought. Cause at the end your resolve, gonna pay out your result, and your hard work will show you are stronger than you thought. You thought. Maishani magumu utapata maumivu, wewe ni jasiri, ongeza bidii. People knock you sober, friends will let you so down. You'll be hurt by your close one, you just have not to give up. Life still has much to offer. When you're in pain, it's a sign of progress. Don't feel ashamed of your past mistakes. No one is perfect and no one knows it all. No one knows it all. No matter what you're going through, yeah, you better keep on going, ooh, yeah. Cause at the end your result, gonna pay out your result, and your hard work will show you are stronger than you thought. You thought. Cause at the end your resolve, gonna pay out your result, and your hard work will show you are stronger than you thought. You thought.
Woo! Stronger than we thought. Yes, we are. Way to go. I love it.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Jules, great job. You know what? You're just amazing. You're this ball of positivity. You know,
Yeah,
look at
the
this
energy is
smile.
really great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Well, I was not so strong at writing like motivation lyrics and stuff, and the song is a little bit inspired by many stuffs. I grew up in a country with many wars up to now, like they are still having many wars. I'm from Congo, and I'm now living in Italy. Of course, it is somehow a big change, but I keep thinking about what's happening, what happened. We lost many people on the way. There is always betrayal in many situations, and the title is Jasiri. Jasiri comes from Swahili, which is an East African language, which means brave, and it has like translation after it. Like there is another one which is Amharic, which means goobers. Also because like last year in Ethiopia also there was war, so I was like talking to my people there too, and there is also an Arabic title also there, like Shuja, because not all my friends do speak actually English, so I try to reach everybody. Everybody who I can, and most of my friends, they were like, man, thank you so much for really telling us what the song was about and stuff. And I felt like I was like speaking to those who couldn't, because the war is still going on, but it's up to us to talk about it, and maybe people, by becoming stronger, they will unite and fight all these bad moments and overcome. So I tried my best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like it's just wonderful that having experienced all of that, you find the strength and the courage to create light, and not only for yourself, but also for your people. It's just beautiful and inspiring. And I also wanted to say, I spent half the video thinking, is that Florence? And you just said Italy, and I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it's Florence. It's beautiful, like beautiful.
It is. I was there once, and it was just, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
I just want to say something really quickly. It's interesting when Jules is talking about war and dealing with, if your country is, I was born in Beirut and I moved to Canada when I was 8 months old, but then I ended up getting married and moving back to the Middle East, and I lived there for 13 years. And war is all around you, like just every country all around you, the news every night. It was one of the most difficult things to deal with, because it's in your face all the time, and obviously being in Canada now, that's not what you hear. Now we only hear about COVID. But before that, we're not really dealing with war. But imagine being in a place where that's at the topic of the day every day. And I realized that I had to shut it off. And that's why even to this day, I don't watch the news and I don't want to know anything. It's not about being ignorant, but you can't focus on creating something positive unless you remove yourself. And so I've learned it's not about not being empathetic to it, but you can't be in it all the time and making that your focus, that you're going, this is horrible and it's unjust and what's happening. We know that. But I think to be able to counteract that, you have to remove yourself from it and be objective about it so you can know about it, but not get directly involved. Instead, focus 100% on Jules, like what you're doing with a song like this, so yeah, it's an interesting perspective, when, like you said, if you grow up around that. I didn't grow up around it, but I certainly ended up moving there and, having to see it firsthand for several years, and making a conscious effort not to make that my focus and instead make the positive side my focus, so that I could balance things out as a human being on this earth.
Yeah, where you focus is where you go.
Yeah.
What the things you focus on are the things that get intensified and magnified in your life. So that's very good illustration, Susie. That's very, very telling. And I appreciate
But
that.
I do feel like it is not easy sometimes. Like, I've been really fortunate. I've not experienced things like that firsthand, but still, I'm on the Canary Islands right now. We have several refugee boats arriving at the beaches that I literally go to. Like, it's here, it's in front of my doorstep. And you see that, and you see all this negativity. And it is something that obviously moves you as a person, and sometimes makes you feel helpless, because you think, this isn't supposed to happen. I want to do something. And I agree that we need to focus on positive things, but I also think it is important to acknowledge what is happening and see what can I do when you can. And that does often imply to say, okay, I'm going to use the privilege that I am allowed to focus on positive things, to use those to make the world a little bit better and to do my little part. And for that, you do need to be aware, I feel, too. It's a balance.
Yeah, and that's exactly why, Luna, what you're saying, 100%. You can't ignore it, but there's a difference between, I'll know people that then jump on the side that's negative and they're fighting against something. You don't want to be fighting, and that's the difference. I think that whatever steps you're going to take, for sure, we all want to do something to help, but in order to be able to help, you can't be on the side that's fighting the negative thing. Instead, you're thinking on a different side, which is, okay, how are we going to fix this? I'm not going to fight anybody. Instead, I'm going to create a positive environment where we can help with this situation. So yeah, I'm just saying, because I went through it, it was like, yeah, it's very difficult, because your heart is telling you this is wrong. What's happening? People right now are being hurt, and there's, a lot of damage happening, and you want to fix it, but you can't help anybody if you're not in the light to be able to do that.
That's what I love about this project, is we're able to just come from where we're at and reach out into the world and make a difference, because we can help shift people's focuses. The biggest thing that we can do to help bring people out of that kind of trial and that kind of tribulation is to help take their mind away from that focus. Yes, it's important to help people who are struggling. And I think one of the biggest things that we can do beyond ourselves, as we're sharing our music, as we're uniting to lift each other up, is to help carry that hope and that redirection to the world, to help people who are struggling to see a better opportunity, to qualify for that, to raise their level of emotional awareness, to at the same time to become more a part of the world and helping and lifting others, is to see their plight and say, okay, I see what you're going through. I don't want to focus on the energy that created that or the energy that's driving it. I want to focus on the energy that's going to heal that, that's going to lift those people up who are focused on that, to focus on something that's better, to focus on something that can bring peace, something that can bring understanding. And that's what I love about Jules' song, is because we are stronger than we thought. We have a greater capacity to reach and to affect others than we allow ourselves to think. And that was something I went through with Laura earlier today, was this process, and this just a guided thought process of recognizing that playing small serves no one, and that we have a tremendous gift and ability to reach out and to carry hope. And we do that with our authenticity, and we do that with our truth. And whatever that is for us is whatever that is. Whatever truth we align with is whatever truth we align with. We can lift and build each other no matter what our differences in philosophies or political ideologies or beliefs or whatever are, because we know that we're here to be a light, and we're here to bring hope. It's exciting. It's exciting to come together and have this place to do that.
It is, and it has been another great meeting. So thank you everyone for showing up and for submitting songs as well, for us to be able to celebrate your creative babies together with. Thank you to Denise and Michael too for coming, even though you're still figuring out how you and your work may fit, but certainly taking in what resonates. And so everyone else who watches the replay after the fact and sees all of the amazing people, then you'll get to see all of us and more in 2 weeks when we come together for the next and final before the April 2nd deadline for the 22 or for the album 22 compilation. our next meeting will be March 23rd at 3:30 Eastern. So we hope you can make that one, and very much look forward to seeing more submissions of songs coming in to Jared. You can get the details in the meetup group under Peaceful Inner Warriors United. And we very much look forward to seeing you all again soon. So thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah, goodbye.